a pony named Spike. Part 2.
Spike moved one leg at a time until he was at the door. But how do you open it? He thought for a bit and then grabbed the doorknob with his teeth and looked with a look of disgust. Spike didn't want to complain. Yes, his wish had came true. Spike closed the door behind him gleefully and trotted down the hall to the throne room. It wasn't hard to trot, so he put in some effort. His legs moved under his own weight. Spike immediately rushed in front of the mirror and grasped at the thrill of seeing himself. He was so enraptured that he didn't realize that Twilight woke up to the sound of his hooves. Only her horrified scream made Spike notice the princess in the doorway. There was quite a bit of explaining to do. "Spike, is that you?" Twilight exclaimed. Approached Spike with wide eyes. Spike nodded proudly and twirled in front of the mirror. He didn't have a cutie mark yet, but he could not get one in the search. Twilight, however, thought otherwise. "How in the world did you become a pony?" the princess asked. "How do you reverse the spell? I'm more interested in how I will find my cutie mark," Spike thrusted. "Your friends will help me, won't they?" "Spike, I promise to help if only you could tell me who's behind the magic," Twilight said, trying to hide her worry. "All right," Spike agreed. "There's this pretty little one. The jewel granted my wish. I found it yesterday and slipped it under my pillow, and ta-da, here we are," Spike exclaimed. "That's quite the concurrence," Twilight said skeptically. "Could you lend me that stone, please?" Twilight asked. "I need to do a little research on it in the library." Spike did, and he was asked. After searching through the old yellow books in the castle library, Twilight found the answer in an ominous book called The Wondrous Wonders of the Everfree Forest. Apparently, this was a real wish stone. A real rare wish stone. Twilight was amazed. The book said that the stone spell only wears off when it's no longer needed. What does it mean? "I have no idea," Spike said. "But the enchantment of this wish stone hasn't faded away yet. But something important is still missing. My cutie mark! Lovely, lovely Rarity!" Spike was bursting with excitement about his adventure at the threshold. Twilight had promised to help him search for a cutie mark. They were going to head to the Cutie Mark Crusaders clubhouse. They bet that the little ponies would encourage Spike to try everything from carpet weaving to roller skating and horseshoe throwing too. "Imagine if my special talent had to do with rare jewels," Spike said. "It's very possible," Twilight sighed. "Perhaps you could ask Rarity for tips?" That's when Spike noticed that there were two. Noticed that who they were walking towards. Of course, the most stylish pony in town, with a cutie mark of 3 sparkly diamonds. Red spread across Spike's cheeks, for he had admired Rarity for ages. He wondered what would Rarity think of his new look. Oh. Spike left Twilight behind and checked on his reflection in the windows of the shop along the street. He lifted his hooves and swished his wings, and his jaw nearly dropped. Seeing something absolutely terrible, a cutie mark has appeared on his flank, and it was a picture of Rarity with 3 pink hearts. "Hey, Twilight!" Spike heard Rarity amazed. "Hey, Twilight!" Spike heard Rarity amazed. "Who's your new friend?" Spike grasped in horror and began into reverse. It was very hard to do with his new pony legs. "Why did he had a picture of Rarity pop up as his cutie mark. How could the most beautiful pony have been his calling? How could he explain it? No! Rarity could not see his cutie mark. Spike had to run. After running around the corner, Spike had made a sudden turn and figured out how to get himself out of the predicament. He would have to fly away from the object of desire as fast as possible. As Spike sped up his gallop, he spread his splendorous wings and lifted up to the air and trumpeted onto the ground headfirst. Oh no, what a miserable display it was. Spike winced and shook in the dust of himself and admittedly cool-looking but awkward Pegasus wings. They were oddly thin and they became a blur as they flapped, making them buzz strangely. If only he knew how to use them as half as well as the flying experts like the wonderbolts. He would have to escape before Twilight and Rarity could see him. There you are! Twilight exclaimed, causing Spike to lift himself and look. What a relief! Rarity wasn't with Twilight! What are you doing? What are you doing? You just disappeared. Nothing. I was just trying to decide whether flying is my special talent, but clearly I should stay on the ground. Well, I don't think so, a voice called out from above, and Rainbow Dash landed next to them. Whoever you are, your place is in the sky. I could tell by your cutie mark. Huh? Spike exclaimed and glanced on the back. Something popped up on his flank. It was a picture of stylish flight goggles, the ones that professional flyers wear. Was the Rarity cutie mark just a fantasy or a delusion? Surely it must have been. The new cutie mark felt much more appropriate. The enthusiasm took over Spike's mind again. Hey, you look kind of familiar, Rainbow Dash pondered, and recoiled as she realized she was staring at Spike, who turned into a pony. It's okay. Twilight calmed her down. Spike is just testing out what it's like to be a pony. The magic of the wish stone will pass soon as he finds his calling. But he's already found it! Rainbow Dash exclaimed. Maybe he'll just have to do it next and get used to his skills. I'm on my way to wonderbolt training. Why don't you come with me? It'll be fun. Twilight watched with worried in the sign lines as Rainbow Dash instructed Spike how to use her best tricks. After dozens of belly flops, the Pegasus was beginning to bear. It was time for Spike to partake in his first rehearsal. He felt like a brand new pony when he wore his Wonderbolt's uniform. I hope I don't turn back into a dragon in my first loop, Spike sighed as the ponies strode proudly to their practice. Probably not. The best part about finding a cutie mark is to enjoy yourself. And who said you couldn't do totally awesome flying as a dragon? We Wonderbolts know that sky isn't the limit. His friend's enthusiasm caught on. As soon as Spike caught the enthusiasm was indeed needed, even though flying was supposed to be a special talent, it seemed far from easy. The Wonderbolts were supposed to take off one after another, but Spike was left behind. He was always lost in his balance, and he even managed to stumble through a few clouds. On his first somersault, poor Spike thumped on the ground in front of Twilight. Spike, are you okay? The princess panicked. Spike nodded, but he felt disappointed and it was overwhelming. Maybe my cutie mark isn't flying goggles, but diving goggles? Spike suggested after a reflection, and he pulled his flight suit off. His friends all gasped at the same time his cutie mark was gone. Sugar and Stardust. Word began to spread about Spike's pony transformation, and soon the cutie mark. At the clubhouse, the cutie mark crusaders gathered a large group of them. They talked together around about Spike's new look. They praised Spike's perky updo and striped shirt. Fluttershy marveled how finely his streaked wings were. However, the most interesting spark from the story of Spike's mysterious cutie mark, which appears and disappears. Did you magically blow when you got your cutie mark? Apple Bloom asked as she was reminiscent of the moment that the cutie mark crusaders finally got theirs. Were there magical sparkles surrounding you? Squealed the wanted to know. Did you just magically burst into song like we did? Sweetie Belle asked. None of that happened. Really. Spike confessed. The cutie mark just came and went. Did you think you have cutie pops? Apple Bloom worried. But Twilight shook her head. This is another kind of magic, Twilight said. The laws of ponies don't apply here. Perhaps Spike only got a permanent mark when he finds the most suitable of his gifts. I know his cutie mark will stick to him like glue, Pinkie Pie squealed. Come with me! Spike accompanied to follow Pinkie Pie to Sugar Cube Corner. You've always been a good baker, so why don't you help me help me whip up some delicious muffins? Pinkie urged and held out cups of sugars and flour in front of Spike. Can you get a measuring cup for me? Every pony watched in excitement as Spike began to bake, but nothing was happening. Oh well, it looks like baking isn't my special talent. I actually wish I had something more exciting. Danger, courage, great adventures. Huh? What's the matter? Every pony was staring at Spike with their mouths open. And that's when he figured out that his new cutie mark appeared. It was no gentle beast, but a suspicious beast in the ever-free forest. The star-born giant bear, the Ursa Major. Wow! The ever-free forest is calling me! Spike exclaimed, and stopped whipping the batter. I knew I was made for adventure. Next time, we will see Spike go on his epic adventure